All right, hi everyone. So we'll be continuing with electromagnetic induction. So yesterday we talked about self-inductance. That was the property of coil to induce current on its own coil. We also saw how a solenoid has how a solenoid can induce EMF. We also got the expression of L, that is self-inductance of a long solenoid. So let us do the questions based on this today. So we will do this one. We will start with the questions of the self-inductor. So those who will be done, they will let me know the answer. We have to calculate the EMF induced in the coil. Okay, one answer I can see. Guys, all will do this. So here we have self-inductance L as 2 millihenry. Current change that is rate of change of current di by dt, that is 20 into 10 to power minus 3 ampere per second. We have to find the EMF induced in the coil. No need about the direction. We just need the magnitude in this case. So EMF will be L di by dt. That's the magnitude. So we will just multiply them. So 40 into 10 to power minus 6 volt, right? EMF will be in terms of volt, you can say, or we can say 40 micro volt. Okay. Let us do this one. So this one all will try. Just add the question. Okay. So this question that I have added, we have not discussed the expression about this. So you all are required to get the expression. So all should try this first and then we will see the expression and the answer for this. Because one thing we learned yesterday, that whenever we have the talking about resistor, capacitor and inductor. So here we have V is equal to IR. Here we have Q is equal to CV. And here we have phi is equal to Li. Right? These were the basic equations. Now, the energy or the heat energy dissipated across a resistor, that is I squared R. And there are various expressions. I am not going to explore all. Just the basic expression I square RT. Energy stored in capacitor half CV square. In the same manner, there will be energy that will be stored in the inductor. So all have to first find out the energy stored in the inductor. And those who have found the energy stored in the inductor, they will only attempt to do this one. And those who will be done by both the questions, they will give me the answer in the chat. So if we talk about the energy stored, first, guys, you all should remember how we derived the expression of energy which is stored in the capacitor. What was the way we found? We saw that V was equal to Q by C, and V is the small amount of work done per unit charge. So from here dW was Q by C into dQ, and from here we integrated and we found the work as Q square by 2C. In the same manner, the energy stored in the inductor can be obtained. Let us figure out the energy stored. So EMF, we know the EMF which is induced in the inductor, that is equal to L di by dt, right? This EMF is due to the flow of current. Now EMF we can write it as dW by dQ, right? We can write it as dW by dQ. And now we can integrate it to find the work. So it would be hard to integrate here. So let us use the expression E is equal to L di by dt. We will use the expression of power, that is equal to V into I. So power we get as Li di by dt. And it is to be remembered, when we are talking about inductor, we are considering I as the variable quantity. Else this di by dt will be 0. P we will write it as dW by dt, right? And now we can cut dt and dt. So now we get dW as Li into di. So let us integrate. So work will be equal to Li square by 2. So half Li square. So all should remember this energy which is stored in the inductor. We call this energy stored as the magnetic energy. This is the magnetic energy stored in the inductor. Why it is called as magnetic energy? Because self-inductance is linked with magnetic flux. That is the magnetic field lines crossing the unit area, right? Because we had phi is equal to Li. What was the definition of L? That L was equal to phi when current flowing was 1 ampere. So that means L is equal to V into A when current is 1 ampere, right? So this expression we can remember, that is half Li square. So if we use this, so all can write this proof of self-inductance stored in inductor. Let us use this. Now it says energy stored in long inductor having current. What is the current? 4 amperes. Self-inductance, that is L, is 200 millihenry, that is 0.2 Henry. And E will be equal to half Li square. So that is half Li square. So it comes out to be 1.6 joules, right? And it says the next part, what is the energy stored per unit volume in the inductor? energy stored per unit volume. To find that we need the volume of the inductor. Volume क्या होगा? Area of cross section into length. So energy stored per unit volume, that will be equal to energy by volume. And we have not been given here about the volume of the inductor. That means you should be given the area of cross section and the length. So let us now consider the expression of L. So what was the expression? Expression क्या था L का? L was equal to mu naught n square A into L, right? We talked about this expression in the last class, right? This was very simple. Let us see it once again. Okay, this problem is done. Let us see it once again, how to get this L and find energy per unit volume. So we were having an inductor and the area was A and the length of the inductor was L. So phi was equal to B into A, and B was what? B was equal to mu naught n I into A. So this was flux through one coil. Flux through all the coils, that's the total flux, was equal to n was the number of turns, so n into mu naught into NIA. Now this total flux, we knew that phi was equal to Li. That means the total flux was equal to L into I. So this was equal to Li, and I gets cut. So we get L as mu naught n into A. So what was this n? N was number of turns per unit length. So this expression became mu naught n into, instead of n we can write n into L. So n square into A into L. That becomes the expression of L. So why I have written this expression? Because now we will be finding energy stored per unit volume. क्योंकि एनर्जी का एक हमारे पास एक्सप्रेशन क्या है? हाफ एल आई स्क्वायर. सो एनर्जी पर यूनिट वॉल्यूम should be equal to Li square by 2 into volume. What volume? A into L. So now I'll put the expression of L here. So mu naught n square A into L into I square by 2 into A into L. This is energy per unit volume. So AL gets cut and we get this as mu naught n square I square by 2. So guys, if you observe, this is mu naught Ni, and mu naught Ni is the magnetic field through the solenoid, or because of the solenoid. So I will multiply mu naught in the numerator and denominator. Now I can write this as B square by 2 mu naught. So this is the energy stored per unit volume across an inductor. So if you observe the capacitor and inductor, if I relate, what was the energy stored? Half. Here I am again talking about energy stored per unit volume. So it was half epsilon naught E square. Right? This was the energy stored per unit volume in the capacitor, considering the electric field. In inductor, what is the energy stored per unit volume? B square by 2 mu naught. So one can understand that there is some analogy here. Electric field is similar to magnetic field. Even this is what we discussed earlier. And epsilon naught is similar to 1 by epsilon naught. Okay. So these things will be used later on while we will discuss electromagnetic waves. But for now, whoever wants to write down the energy per unit volume in an inductor, they can do that. Yes, Samya, guys, this is the thing which we have already discussed. अब ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड का मतलब है, देखो ये अगर ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड नहीं था, कैन ऑल ऑफ यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस? यहाँ पर क्या लिखे हुए हैं जो ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड है, इसको नीट लिख के कोई फायदा है? इट विल बी जस्ट time consuming. I have no issue in that. Okay, let us write it neatly. I will write neatly. So first we have about the inductor. So for the inductors, let us start from here. We will compare it with resistors and we will compare it with capacitors. So for inductor, we had the equation phi is equal to L into I. For resistor, we had V is equal to I into R. For capacitor, we had Q is equal to CV. Talking about the energy stored in the capacitor, we had the expression that energy was half CV square. Energy that was dissipated across the resistor, that energy was I squared RT. Now energy stored in the inductor, that will be equal to half Li square. So this energy which is stored in the inductor, that is called as the magnetic energy. Why it is called magnetic energy, we just now saw, but we will not consider them because we will again write them. So now our purpose will be to find out, to prove the magnetic energy stored in the inductor. So whenever we talk about inductor, we have the equation of EMF, that is L di by dt. So power will be equal to E into I. So that means power is equal to L di by dt into I. So that implies power is equal to Li di by dt. So now we can write dw by dt as Li into di by dt. So this gets cut and we have dw as Li into di. So we will integrate both sides. So we get work as half Li square, and work done is equal to energy stored, that is equal to half Li square. So this is the expression of energy stored in the inductor, which we call it as magnetic energy. Okay, all will write this. So forget the previous works. ये सभी को समझ में आ रहा है? Samya Hirem, is this fine now? So Biram, this is valid for an inductor. A solenoid is an inductor, we can see, because it is also coiled. Yes, Samya, you can hear me. Can you understand this now? Yes, this half Li square, it's valid for solenoids. So let us talk about the energy per unit volume. To find energy per unit volume, we will require the expression of L, the self-inductance. So we need to find out energy per unit volume. So that will be the magnetic energy stored in the inductor divided by the volume. Volume can be area of cross section into the length of inductor. So let us first find out the expression of L. So for a solenoid having length L and number of turns N, here number of turns per unit length was N by L, and magnetic field across due to this solenoid was mu naught Ni. So first we found the flux due to one coil, that was B into A. So total flux came out to be N into B into A, and this total flux was equal to Li. So we put the expression of B, so we get mu naught into Ni into N into A is equal to L into I. So I gets cut and we get the expression of L as mu naught N into A. So let us put it here. Here we have A into L. So let us write the expression of N in terms of A into L. So this N, we can write it as N into L. So we get mu naught N into L instead of this N into A is equal to L. And we get it as mu naught N square A into L as the expression of L. So let us use this expression here, and that gives us half mu naught N square A into L into I square divided by E into L. So that is equal to half mu naught n square I square, and this can be written as mu naught square n square I square by 2 mu naught, and this can be written as B square. So we get expression of energy stored per unit volume, B square by 2 mu naught. Yes, Abhiram, there are inductors other than solenoid, but we will not go through all other types of inductors. Those are complicated. We will just see the basic kind of inductors. And we are first seeing the self-inductance. Okay, so all can write this. I probably guess this is understandable to all. The proof. ये writing समझ में आ रही होंगी सभी को. So let me know when you all are done. So whoever will be done, they will mark in the poll. Okay, let us do some problems now. So whoever will be done, they will give me the answer.
Pranjal, let me know what answer you get for this one.
Sir, the answer is 1.
1 Henry. Yes, that's right. So the idea is very simple. We will just use number of turns into flux is equal to L into I. So we'll just put the values here. 4 into 10 to power minus 3 into 500 is equal to L divided by here 2. So we get 1 Henry. Let us do this one. 0.8 into 10 to power minus 9. That is 8 into 10 to power minus 10. Yes, that is correct. So here also the idea is simple. We use the same expression, n phi is equal to L into I. So we will get the answer. So the questions in this section is completely based on mutual inductance as well. So let us understand the coefficient of mutual inductance, because we already dealt with self inductance. So in the self inductance, what we learned, that if current was growing, then the EMF induced was opposing this growing current, right, or increasing current. तो EMF का डायरेक्शन क्या था? इस डायरेक्शन में इंड्यूस हो रहा था. सिमिलरली इफ द करंट वाज डिक्रीजिंग, करंट अगर इस डायरेक्शन में डिके हो रहा था, देन EMF का भी डायरेक्शन क्या था? इट वाज इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ डिक्रीजिंग करंट. So this was all about the self inductance that we learned. Let us parallelly see mutual inductance. So as the name suggests, mutual inductance, in this EMF will be induced on a coil with respect to other coil, right? That's why the word mutual. मतलब यहाँ पर दो coils होंगे. So let us suppose एक ये इंडक्टर कॉइल है और इस इंडक्टर कॉइल में करंट फ्लो हो रहा है, एंड पैरेलली वी हैव अनदर कॉइल which has galvanometer here, और इसमें एक इंडक्टर कनेक्टेड है. So why I have attached galvanometer? So as to sense the induced current. So I have kept it here. So if this current is constant, अगर ये current constant है, तो क्या इसमें कुछ EMF generate होगा? Answer is no. Because if this current is constant, then relative motion is required. Now, if I do not want any relative motion to be involved, so what I will do, I will connect it to the variable source, means the current is variable. That means let us suppose AC current यहाँ पर pass हो रहा है. So now let us say I give this coil the name primary coil and this is secondary coil. Now in this case EMF will be induced in the secondary coil due to the current that is flowing in the primary coil. We can say due to the variable current flowing in the primary coil. So if we observe here, इसमें जो EMF induce होगा, that will be because of the mutual placement of these two coils. So this current will give rise to one self inductance. That means EMF induced due to self inductance, वो इस coil में ही EMF induce होगा, and EMF induced due to the mutual placement of these two coils. So let us find out the expression. What happens here? The current that is changing in primary coil, it will generate magnetic field, and these field lines will pass through the secondary coil, right? Let us suppose मैंने draw कर दिया magnetic field. So ये कुछ ऐसा magnetic field है. So these magnetic fields will pass through the secondary coil. So it will cut the area of cross section of secondary coil and EMF will be induced in the secondary coil as well. So what happens? I'll write PC for primary coil and SC for secondary coil. So I in primary coil, what it does? It generates magnetic field. it generates magnetic field, and these field lines pass through the secondary coil. So as it passed through secondary coil, that means there is some net flux through the secondary coil, because we are talking about field lines. So I can say there is flux passing through secondary coil, and this flux will be also changing. There will be change in flux. This change in flux is because of variable current. So that's what we required. Once we obtain that there is change in flux, then definitely there will be induced EMF, because EMF induced is directly related to the change in flux. That means there will be some deviation, or you can say the deflection in the galvanometer needle, which will confirm the generation of the EMF. So let us look at the two coils clearly. So we will be looking at mutual inductance. So let us say this is primary coil, this is secondary coil. So through both the coils, what was happening? EMF was generated, one because of self inductance in the primary coil, and EMF was generated because of the mutual inductance in the secondary coil. So now the primary coil, across it the magnetic field passed through the secondary coil, right? तो इसमें जो EMF generate हुआ, जो EMF induce हुआ, that was because of mutual inductance. Now this induced EMF will again induce another form of EMF if we practically see, because of the magnetic field in the secondary coil. So this process will be vice versa, and the results will be symmetrical. So let us see the first case. Let us observe the current in primary to be I1 and current induced in the secondary to be I2. So if the current is greater in primary coil, then it will produce more magnetic field. So more magnetic field is produced. That's a very general thing. And more the magnetic field produced, more will be the flux. And more the flux will be, that means there will be flux change and EMF will be induced. That means what we are observing, that flux in second coil. So we are talking about one coil here, and same thing will apply even for the total or all the turns, or we can say the total flux is directly dependent on the current in the primary, right? Because current जो flow हो रहा है, इसको मैं हटा दे रहा हूँ. करंट जो फ्लो हो रहा है, हमने बैटरी या फिर सोर्स कहां पर कनेक्ट किया? प्राइमरी कॉइल में. सोर्स ऑफ करंट इज कनेक्टेड टू द प्राइमरी कॉइल. So the total flux in the secondary coil, that is phi 2, is directly proportional to what is the current in the primary coil. To remove this proportionality symbol, we bring a constant of proportionality, that is m. Right? And this constant of proportionality m is called as coefficient of mutual inductance. Right? Same strategy we even applied for the coefficient of self inductance. So in general, whether we talk about self inductance or we talk about mutual inductance, we have the equation phi is equal to Li, or phi is equal to mi. And it is to be noted, especially in mutual inductance, that flux in secondary coil will be equal to m into I in the primary coil, right? So here also, as we can observe, that the dimension of coefficient of mutual inductance will be same as the self inductance. So if we want to figure out the EMF induced in coil 2, EMF induced in secondary coil. So again, we are going to use the same expression of EMF, that is negative d phi by dt. Phi means we are going to take the total flux, that is phi 2 in the secondary coil. So here we will get minus m, m is the constant, so di by dt, and definitely this is di1. So if we want to define m, we can define it similar to the way we defined L in self inductance. So all can write down this one, and then we shall proceed ahead. This thing should be clearly understood कि phi 2 और I1 हम क्यों ले रहे हैं. So I will write it as E2 to indicate EMF induced in secondary coil. So E2 is EMF induced in secondary coil. So somewhere you will also see this equation to be of this form. कहीं ऐसा भी लिखा रहेगा that phi 2 is equal to M21 into I1. So what does this M21 means? Coefficient of mutual inductance of coil 2 with respect to coil 1. This is coil 2 with respect to coil 1. And M21 is equal to M12, that we take it as M. So whether we talk about coil 2 with respect to coil 1 or coil 1 with respect to coil 2, numerically they are same. So everyone understood this concept of mutual inductance? Let me know what doubts you have, else we will do one question, simple question first based on mutual inductance. So let us do now a simple question based on mutual inductance. So find coefficient of mutual inductance for a pair of concentric coils as shown. This is one coil and this is another coil. Concentric, they have same centers. So you have the radius, let us say this is R2 and this is R1. Let us say first coil में current इधर जाता है. This is I1. So it is also given that R1 is too much greater than R2. So you can find the final result and use this approximation if it is required. Okay, so quickly we will do. Whoever will be done, they will let me know. So we have to find the mutual inductance. So here it is to be noted that ये I1 मैंने दे दिया but I1 नहीं भी दिया होगा. So you can consider either of the coils and the current flowing in that coil and obtain the mutual inductance for the other coil. So here let us suppose ये I1 मैंने consider किया and due to this I1 magnetic field will be there at the center. So that will be B1, right? B1 क्या हो जाएगा? Mu naught I1 by 2R1. This is the magnetic field at the center. So what will be the flux through coil 2? Because we need to find out flux. So now we can figure out the flux. What will be flux 2? Because we have taken current in first coil. So of course in the second coil we will be finding the flux. So that will be magnetic field due to first coil into the area of second coil, right? So that will be equal to mu naught I1 by 2R1 into area 2 क्या होगा pi R2 square. So from here, once we have figured out the flux, we can equate this flux with mutual inductance into current. So that current is I1. So we can now cut them and we get the mutual inductance as mu naught pi R2 square by 2R1. Okay, let us do one more question related to solenoid. So we have to find the coefficient of mutual inductance for a pair of two long solenoids of equal lengths as under. So एक solenoid ऐसा है और दूसरा solenoid ऐसा है. That means their axis is same. What will be the coefficient of mutual inductance for this? It is given that the length is L and let us suppose इस solenoid को consider करते हैं. So this is given that this is L, length is L, number of turns per unit length is N2 and R2 is its radius. Outer solenoid length is N and R1. These two sets are given to us. Based on this only we are about to find the coefficient of mutual inductance. So of course you need to consider the current in either of the coil. किसी एक coil में current consider करके हम mutual inductance निकाल सकते हैं. All can do this quickly. So let us suppose we consider again outer coil में current I1 मान लिया, right? So due to this I1, magnetic field inside the solenoid will be mu naught and I1, right? This will be the magnetic field inside the solenoid. तो यही magnetic field होगा even within the second solenoid. Now what will be the flux through each coil of solenoid 2? So what will be the flux 2? So that will be B into A. So mu naught N1 I1 into A. That will be pi R2 square. So this is the flux through one coil, right? This is the flux through one coil. So वैसे ही total flux क्या होगा? Total flux of second solenoid, that will be number of coils, that is N2 into L, right? We are talking about the second solenoid into flux due to one coil. So mu naught N1 I1 pi R2 squared. So once we have figured out phi, we can relate this phi with M into I1. So I1 will be cut from both sides and we will get the expression of M. क्या मिलेगा? Mu naught N1 N2 L into pi R2 squared. So this is the coefficient of mutual inductance for this case. So all can write this down. All right. So we will do more questions based on mutual inductance and self inductance in the next class. So see you all guys in the next class.
Thank you, sir.